Hello everyone, here we are one more time. So what we have here is we got the new Xbox One Slim and the old one. So we just what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare these two and we're gonna find out what's the difference between these two. We're gonna take a closer look at both of these consoles, including the Xbox One S prices, release date, and specs. So what we will start off with the prices. There are three different capacities. Prices starts at $299 for the 500 GB console. 1 terabyte will be for $300, and the 2 terabyte version will also be out, and it will be $349. We got the prices for the UK as well. Those prices starts at £249 for the 500 GB console. 1 terabyte will be £299, and 2 terabyte version will be £349. That's pretty sweet for a 4K Blu-ray player, let alone one that also plays games. Xbox One Slim is 40% smaller, and another good thing about this slim version is it has a built-in power supply. That's really a good news, man. Such a reduction in size should be welcomed by many. The original Xbox One is nothing short of a beast, but this one dominates comparatively slight PS4, but not in a good way. And what's doubly impressive is the built-in power supply. This is a huge improvement, because the old bulky power brick on the Xbox One was a serious pain, for those of you who knows, man. So 40% smaller and no bulky power supply. I take my hats off to Microsoft. Thank you, we like that. Now the new one is 4K Ultra HD, 4K Blu-ray player, and high dynamic range support. This is huge. Not only does the Xbox Slim support 4K video playback from the streaming services like Netflix and Amazon, it also has a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray built in. This is especially a good news for AV fans, and they announced $300 starting price make it good value compared to the dedicated Ultra HD player currently on the market. In fact, if you have a 4K TV, we would argue it's a must-have to enjoy the full potential of your TV. While the original Xbox is technically capable of supporting 4K gaming and video, it comes with an HDMI 1.4a port. Now, 1 second, let me just. While the new Xbox One Slim has a HDMI 2.0. What this basically does is it has a capacity for a deeper color space, and also allows for high dynamic range HDR. In short, you can expect more natural colors, deeper blacks, and brighter whites from an HDR image, providing you have a compatible TV. It would be great for games and videos. So the next is there is no performance difference. Much like the rumored PS4.5, the Xbox Slim will not mark the beginning of a new console generation, but an expansion of a platform we already know and love. Unlike the rumored PlayStation and Xbox Scorpio coming out next year, however, the Xbox One Slim isn't more powerful than a standard Xbox. So while it adds supports for 4K video and Blu-ray, games won't look or run any better on the Xbox One Slim as far we know. And on a less happy note, Microsoft revealed plans to release a 4K console at the end of 2017, which should make you ponder whether an Xbox Slim upgrade is worth it if there's a new Xbox coming out next year. Another good thing about the Xbox One Slim is it can be stored upright. Yeah, that's right, you can store the Xbox One Slim upright. That's a great news. Although the stand's gonna cost you $20, but I don't think that's a lot of money. There is no dedicated port for Kinect, Not a huge surprise for me, to be honest. The Xbox Slim, removes the dedicated port for Kinect. Given its increasingly irrelevance, this isn't a huge loss. And that's the new controller, man. Honestly speaking, it looks fucking awesome, man. Even though it's slightly changed, but like I say, it looks good, man. To be honest, if you're not content with the already Xbox One controller, Microsoft got a new controller for this Xbox One Slim. As for the controller itself, it has a new textured grip, exchangeable color covers, extended range, and most importantly, it now has a Bluetooth. You can use it with a PC wirelessly. So this is the difference between Xbox One and the latest Xbox. I'm gonna summarize now. I think the most likable things about Xbox, as I've seen now, is first of all is it has a wireless and Bluetooth function for the remote control, and the other thing is the stand, and the most important thing is we no longer need it has a built-in power supply. So these are the probably the best features of this Xbox One. But I'm gonna wait. I already have an Xbox. I'm gonna wait for the new one that's gonna come out end of next year. So I'll probably buy it, but it all depends. These are the differences between these two. Let me know, guys, what you think. Like my video, and if you have any questions, just pop up.